Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. Looking at the events of the past 24 hours gives us a good picture of Pakistan's internal politics in the coming days. I want to put two fundamental questions before you. As you listen to all the descriptions and details, keep these two questions in your mind. First question. Is it possible that the US establishment is using Pakistan's Army Chief, Field Marshal General Asim Munir, to pressure Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi into doing what they want? In other words, is this a tactic to bring him in line? This question has become very important in light of recent events. Second question. Given the current situation in Pakistan and the way anti-terrorism court verdicts are coming, is it possible that GHQ has step-by-step given recognition to a new PTI, one that is by GHQ for GHQ and of GHQ, in the same way we say democracy is of the people, by the people, for the people? This new PTI will soon be launched like a test tube baby or test flight. These two questions are essential when observing current developments. In the past 24 hours, one thing became clear. The rumour circulating for the last 4 days, first mentioned by Arif Hamid Bhatti, who informed every leader of PTI abroad that there was a conspiracy to auction Imran Khan's Bani Gala residence, was also confirmed with reluctance by Salman Akram Raja about 24 hours ago. But thanks to several podcasters, especially Imran Riaz Khan, a popular Pakistani TV anchor and podcaster now in the UK, Dr. Shahbaz G, and Mansoor Ali Khan from Lahore, it was well explained that the property being auctioned was not Imran Khan's personal property in Bani Gala. Rather, it was property linked to Malik Riaz's family, specifically his son's property, and also related to Faragogi, a friend of Bushra Bibi. Faragogi's property auction didn't happen, possibly due to no buyers, but Malik Riaz's son's property was auctioned, so it's now clear there was no court order or auction regarding Imran Khan's property. Meanwhile, as expected, Indian media reacted strongly to General Asim Munir's secret speech in Tampa to 120 Pakistanis. No TV cameras or cell phones allowed where he threatened Modi. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs issued an official statement based on media reports, suggesting that nuclear-level threats were made from US soil. Pakistan's Foreign Office, however, completely denied it. The State Department's designation of the Majid Brigade as a terrorist organization was, well, celebrated in Pakistan, especially by pro-government podcasters, though honestly they conveniently forgot that just days earlier, the United States had similarly banned the Resistance Front, or TRF, in Jammu and Kashmir. From The Hague, Pakistan received what they called good news. The Permanent Court of Arbitration, in its written judgment on the Indus Waters Treaty, ruled that India cannot block the flow of Indus waters under the treaty. And although the decision had been announced earlier, Pakistan is celebrating as if it came in, the last 24 hours. In another development, an anti-terror court acquitted Shah Mahmood Qureshi again, while sentencing Dr. Yasmin Rashid, the former Punjab health minister who, by the way, defeated Nawaz Sharif in 2014, former Punjab Governor Omar Sarfaraz Chima, Senator Ijaz Chowdhury and Mahmood Rashid each to 10 years in prison. Alia Hamza and Sanam Javed were given 5 years each. That leaves Hamid ASR and Shah Mahmood Qureshi as the remaining PTI figures who might carry the party's flag forward. Now, reactions to my last vlog were, well, pretty strong. Indians think I represent GHQ, GHQ people think I represent India, and PTI supporters are disappointed because they feel I portrayed General Asim Munir as a patriotic, important figure. Before diving into the bigger picture, let me just remind you to subscribe to this channel, click the bell icon, and turn on all notifications. With some effort, we might cross the 800,000 subscriber mark by August 31st. I'll post the WhatsApp channel link in the comments for direct connection. Back to Bani Gala. Imran Khan's property wasn't up for auction, but Malik Riaz's properties are being auctioned one after another. Previously, anger toward Malik Riaz was due to his non-cooperation in the £190 million case involving Sargodha University and his refusal to testify against Imran Khan. The new wave of anger comes from his Dubai housing project, with allegations of multi-billion rupee money laundering. But, real estate sources in Dubai tell me the real issue is that Malik Riaz failed to satisfy powerful individuals who wanted a large share in that project. In Pakistan, of course, you can accuse someone of anything, even something absurd. But the latest trigger was Malik Riaz's ill-advised tweet a few days ago boasting, "I have 20 years' worth of secrets of all people." He deleted it, but his account now carries long tweets in Urdu and English complaining about the crackdown on Bahria town, blocked cash flow, frozen bank accounts, confiscated hundreds of vehicles in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad and Rawalpindi, making it nearly impossible for Bahria town to operate. India.com ran a story saying the man who started with 1,500 rupees and became a multi-billionaire is now being targeted by the same man who jailed Imran Khan, and that Pakistan is a place where anything can happen. The Bahria town case is to be heard by a 3-member Supreme Court bench on August 13th. I doubt they will offer relief. As I've said in previous vlogs, Pakistan's business and investment circles believe this is not really about Malik Riaz. If this pattern, this rubbish, gets established, then no major investment in Pakistan will ever be able to flourish. Because in this case, a single individual got so upset over Malik Riaz's tweet that he ordered his sector commanders to hit them and straighten them out. If a single person in any system has so much power that they can jeopardize such a massive property empire, one in which millions have invested, then that is a huge problem. NABE has issued a clarification. I'll try to show it on the screen, stating that people who have plots, investments or homes in Bahria town need not worry. They claim they are only pursuing Malik Riaz's family or those involved in money laundering, and that ordinary investors' properties will not be harmed. But overall, I'm talking about investor confidence. If Malik Riaz's and Bahria town's investments are not safe in Pakistan, and if Pakistan's courts and Supreme Court cannot protect them, then no kind of large investment can come into the country. I don't know if people understand this or not, but it's about trust and confidence in the system. Take an example from America. Donald Trump personally dislikes Elon Musk. If Trump could, he might throw Elon Musk into a maximum security prison or force him to flee to Cuba, Venezuela, Russia or China. But in reality, despite Trump's personal feelings and all his statements, he could not cancel federal government contracts for Musk's companies like SpaceX and Starlink, let alone Twitter or Tesla. Anyway, moving on to Pakistan's politics, the anti-terror court has given exactly the same type of verdict in 2 more cases, as it did on July 22nd. In these, Shah Mahmood Qureshi was honourably acquitted, while Dr. Yasmin Rashid, Senator Ejaz Chowdhury, Omar Sarfaraz Chima and Mahmood-ur-Rashid were sentenced, along with Aliya Hamza and Sanam Javed, who each received 5-year sentences. What does this tell you? I've seen many people commenting on this as if some legal principle was involved, but no one is looking at the political principle. More than one respected podcaster has said, "Look at how unjust it was. Qureshi was jailed for 2 years when he wasn't even present." Yes, there's no doubt the case and FIR against him were fake, but does that mean you now give him $2 billion in compensation for 2 years in jail and humiliation as a twice former foreign minister? And if Qureshi was innocent, then what about Dr. Yasmin Rashid, Omar Sarfaraz Chima, Senator Ejaz Chowdhury, or Mahmood-ur-Rashid? Did they set off bombs, fire Sten guns, shoot at people with cash and carry firing, commit murders, drive tanks, break into the Corps commander's house and vandalize it? No. All the cases against them are also fake. Their real crime, like Qureshi's, is that they defied GHQ's will. All these cases, Shadman police station outside the Corps commander's house, Gulberg and so on, are officially about arson, attacking police, burning vehicles, firing shots, vandalism. But in reality, they didn't do these things. They simply protested against GHQ's political agenda. What sort of compromise or understanding GHQ has reached with Shah Mahmood Qureshi is unclear at this stage. Only the next few days and weeks will reveal that. But one thing is clear, it's political, not legal. Similarly, Hamad Azhar, who was long in hiding but came out to receive condolences after his father's death, has not been arrested, which suggests he too has an understanding with the powers that be. And many other PTI figures abroad also seem to have understandings. Meanwhile, Aliya Hamza and Sanam Javed have been jailed for 5 years, which shows a new experiment is underway with PTI. This is the big picture analysis that I've found missing in many podcasters' work. Let's see what happens next. Now, regarding my last video, where I detailed General Asim Munir's Tampa speech, warning Modi's government that if they built a dam, we will destroy it with missiles, there have been 2 kinds of reactions, one between India and Pakistan, including official statements, and another from my channel viewers. Let's first look at the official reactions. Indian media, as expected, splashed big headlines, with the main criticism being that Asim Munir was issuing nuclear saber-rattling from US soil. They also enjoyed the fact that he compared India to a Mercedes or Ferrari while calling Pakistan a dump truck. Perhaps Munir didn't realize the implications of saying that publicly, essentially affirming Pakistan is slow and uncompetitive in modern warfare and technology. Some loyalist Pakistani podcasters and anchors, along with the Foreign Office, have completely denied that Munir ever said the Mercedes or Ferrari versus dump truck line. India's Ministry of External Affairs issued a formal press release accusing Pakistan's Field Marshal of nuclear saber-rattling from US soil. The Pakistani Foreign Office issued a strong rebuttal, which I read closely, claiming Pakistan has a sophisticated nuclear command and control structure. That's fine, but then they went on to assert that this nuclear chain of command is under civilian authority, an obvious falsehood. Which civilian authority? Defense Minister Khawaja Asif, Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. Interestingly, several senior retired Pakistani military officers shared their thoughts with me about Munir's speech. One said he was deeply disappointed that someone at Munir's level engaged in what Americans call locker room bravado, something you say casually among friends, not in front of 120 people in an official setting. Another noted that in the US, several commanders over the past 20 years have been immediately dismissed for making comments contrary to civilian leadership's policy. But in Pakistan, the question is, who has the authority to dismiss Asim Munir? A third pointed out that destroying dams with missiles is extremely difficult. It usually requires elaborate commando operations, sabotage or explosives. He cited World War II's dam busters using 42-ton bombs on small dams, noting that Indian dams like Kishanganga and Ratla are massive concrete or rock-filled, earthquake-resistant structures, possibly protected by S-400 or better missile defenses. As of now, India does not seem to have any concrete plans to build a very large dam on the Indus. Even if they start designing it now, it would take them 4 to 5 years just for the design work and another 8 to 10 years to construct it. This means that at the very least building such a massive dam on the Indus, one that would block water and which General Asim Munir has allegedly planned to destroy with missiles, could take the Indian government 12 to 14 years. So who knows what will happen in such a long time? In other words, General Asim Munir has essentially thrown this idea into the air. The dam he supposedly wants to destroy with missiles hasn't even been built yet, and such a dam might not even be destructible by missiles in the first place. The bottom line is that General Asim Munir is smart enough to know what he's doing. Now, when I say smart or clever, people take offense. That's because many people see him as a bad man, someone who has brought trouble upon the whole of Pakistan, and they don't like hearing anything that suggests he's cunning or intelligent. But General Asim Munir is indeed so shrewd and sharp that he knows the more brinkmanship he plays against India, and the more anti-India rhetoric he engages in, the better it serves his domestic standing. For 2.5 years, he didn't seem to grasp this. During that time, he was focused on building up the threat of war with Afghanistan. That was because his predecessor, General Bawar, had made commitments to international powers to maintain closeness with India, to be friendlier with the West, to step back from China, and to reduce hostility toward India. But by early 2025, Asim Munir had realized he was deeply unpopular. And unless he created conflict with India, unless there was brinkmanship, anti-India rhetoric and hostile statements from India against him, he could not prove his legitimacy within Pakistan. He reversed course, and the Pakistani public, being simple and trusting, didn't catch on to what he was doing. In fact, they went along with him. An interesting point, noted even by Pakistan's military officers, is that his anti-India rhetoric emerged after certain meetings, specifically after the ESCOM meeting. There is a degree of confidence that he has been reassured, or at least assessed, that his hosts at the US Central Command have no major objections to this kind of anti-India talk. That raises a very serious and interesting question. Is the US establishment using Pakistan's military leadership, and General Asim Munir in particular, to achieve its own objectives with Narendra Modi's government? This is a question that will likely be debated in the days ahead. The video in question has received very interesting reactions. Indians, understandably, were angry, some feeling that I was in the end a tool of General Asim Munir or the GHQ, and questioning how it could be that Asim Munir could make things harder for Narendra Modi. There's a lot of emotional reaction. Pro-army, pro-government Indian commentators accuse me of being completely pro-India. One senior PTI leader even sent me a tweet saying Dr. Moeed Pirzada has forgotten while travelling in America how General Asim once made grand statements about destroying India. But in the end, nothing came of them. When I read such comments, I realised the basic problem of the South Asian mindset. People want the media to affirm their own biases. They don't care about real analysis. They want self-affirmation. This problem exists in GHQ too, but since they have power, they act on it by trying to silence voices, pressuring Google, filing lawsuits and so on. In PTI's political base, this desire for affirmation is also very strong. You might remember that before November 2024, many PTI politicians, who are now discredited and silent, used to complain that overseas Pakistani podcasters were preventing them from reconciling with the military establishment. And if they could just silence these voices or discredit them through Imran Khan, they could make a good deal with the army. Opinions and desires fluctuate, and genuine analysis gets little room in the South Asian mind. In this case, one single video ended up upsetting 3 different audiences, and again, Pakistani military officers noted that in the past 7 months, since January 2025, Pakistan's military high command and US Central Command have shown a closeness not seen since the early 90s. What that means, I've already explained. In the past 24 hours, there have been 2 India-related developments welcomed in Pakistan. First, the written ruling of the Permanent Court of Arbitration on the Indus Waters Treaty was released. The decision had actually been made quite some time ago, but Pakistan is treating the written release as a fresh victory. It says that India cannot block the waters of the Indus, which, really strengthens Pakistan's position. However, India never accepted the court's jurisdiction and did not participate in the arbitration. Interestingly, the court still ruled that its decision is binding on both sides. This raises another question. If attacking a dam is an act of war, then is building an illegal dam to block water under international law also an act of war? In other words, is blocking water itself an act of war? I don't think matters will go in that direction. Some other solution will likely be found. Second, the US State Department has banned the militant wing of the BLA, the Moeed Brigade, declaring it a terrorist group. In Pakistan, this was welcomed enthusiastically, especially by pro-government podcasters like some of our friends in Lahore. They forgot that just a few days earlier, the State Department had also designated the Resistance Front in Jammu and Kashmir as a terrorist group, accused of carrying out the Pahalgam attack. So in a way, the US has balanced both sides. The bottom line is that since April 2025, the war rhetoric between India and Pakistan has been heavily exploited by the ruling elites of both countries. But based on available evidence, it appears Pakistan's leadership, especially Asim, has made more effective use of it than the Modi government, which has been put in a slightly more difficult position. The Pakistani-American community's struggle is taking on new forms. Indian origin Professor Ashok Swain of Uppsala University praised the fact that the Pakistani-American community managed to place a full-page paid ad in the New York Times highlighting Imran Khan's 2 years of detention. Such ads are very expensive, and I've heard from some congressional aides that they were impressed by the community's political activism, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single ad. This has had a positive impact in Washington. I didn't realize it at the time because I was traveling, but once I returned, I saw its significance. Finally, I want to share a point from Professor Steve Hanker of Johns Hopkins University, an expert in applied economics with 50 years of experience advising governments worldwide on monetary policy and currency stabilization. He wrote an article in Fortune magazine on August 5, 2025, marking 2 years of Imran Khan's detention. He recalls his last conversation with Imran Khan in April 2023, where for an hour and a half he discussed the concept of a currency board as a solution to Pakistan's currency devaluation problem. Hanker notes that he had previously discussed the same concept with Lithuania's Prime Minister, who grasped it easily because he had a doctorate in economics from Moscow University. He says he was surprised that Imran Khan also quickly grasped these complex financial concepts. And yet, here is that same Imran Khan kept in jail by General Asim. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.